If you're struggling to throw far, today we're going to be going over 3 quarterback arm strength drills that can help you add distance to your deep ball. Now, before we get into these drills, we're going to talk about the top 3 reasons that quarterbacks will lose throw power and lose arm strength. And then these drills are going to obviously correlate to these top 3 reasons quarterbacks will have a decrease in their power. So number 1 is going to be improper weight distribution. So if I'm trying to throw the ball and I'm trying to throw the ball hard, you want to think of it almost like you were trying to hit a baseball. Quarterbacks and baseball hitters generate something called torque, and torque is how you're able to increase more velocity and distance on your throws. So it's like, think about it from a baseball perspective first. You're in the batter's box. Pitcher throws you a pitch, you step to the pitcher, but does the bat come through? No, the bat stays back, your weight stays back, your head, your knee, and your foot all stay stacked on top of each other, so your shoulders and lower half could be separate. So now when the hips fire through, this bat trails behind, but that whipping effect of the bat, aka bat speed, is ultimately how we create torque. So as a quarterback, you want to do the same exact thing, but the football is essentially the bat, right? So if I'm here and I'm trying to throw, like, let's say a slant over the middle, I don't want to be that guy that when I take a step and try to throw to this slant, all my body weight shifts forward. My head is no longer stacked with my knee and with my foot. When I stride to the target, I want to keep my head, my knee, and my foot stacked, because when my weight stays back and I slightly rotate this front shoulder, now I'm in something called hip and shoulder dissociation. This separation right here is called dissociation. So now when my hips fire through, that hip can come through before my shoulder, before my elbow, before the ball, and that's ultimately how we create power. So a lot of guys will be here, and then on the foot strike, all this pushes forward. That's the number 1 reason that quarterbacks will see a decrease in power, and we're obviously going to talk about some drills to work on that. Number 2, improper base. So a lot of guys, because they try to sit low and get power from their legs, they're in a very quad dominant position. So their quads, or I guess you could say their knees, are almost past their toes in their base. So when they stride to the target and try to rotate, even if they have a good sequence like we just talked about, they physically can't rotate. So they lock out, and that lockout causes a decrease in power. So what we want to do, we're going to give you some drills to work on this as well, is you want to sit your butt down. You want to be in a glute dominant position. And then coming in at number 3 is an overstride. A lot of guys will be here and they try to stay back, but they have this really long overstride, which kind of ties into that separation and weight distribution. But that overstride puts your feet outside your frame. You can't rotate with your hips, and that will cause a decrease in power. So I wanted to preface those drills with that, because those are the top 3 things that you want to try to avoid as a QB when it comes to arm strength. Now, this first drill to help with weight distribution, because remember, as quarterbacks, we need to be able to separate my upper body from my lower body and have my hips fire through before my shoulders, right? I have to get to that dissociation position in order to create power. So this first drill is called a single leg dissociation rotation. So this is a simple drill. You don't need a ball, you don't need a partner, you don't need any type of equipment. You just need to be able to balance on one leg. So you want to balance on your throwing side leg, right? So single leg throwing side leg, you're going to have your arms crossed across your chest, and you're going to have a slight lean forward. Don't let your knees go past your toes, but you want your chest to be slightly ahead of your knee. And all we are going to do, while not moving my left leg, the non-dominant leg, we're just balancing on my throwing side foot, we are going to rotate, keeping my head forward, and try to align my left shoulder with my right knee. Notice how my knee is not caving in. My knee is staying as straight as I can. My shin is staying as straight as I can. So this simple movement, what does that look a lot like? That looks a lot like where we want to be when I'm trying to throw a pass. If I'm trying to throw a pass this way and I stride to the target, I want to keep my head, my knee, and my foot stacked on top of each other. A phrase I like to tell my quarterbacks: pretend you have a laser beam on your knee and a laser beam on your hip. When you stride to the target, that laser beam should be pointed towards the sideline, so I can rotate my shoulders back. And when my shoulders are separate from my hips can fire through, and that creates that whip with my arm, which will increase arm strength. So remember, dissociation, rotations. We're on one leg, arm is here. I'm going to show you how this is going to look full speed, of course, but we're going to rotate, align that shoulder with my knee, come back. Rotate, align my shoulder with my knee, come back. And we're gonna do 2 sets of 10 reps of that drill. Now, before we get into the full speed example of that drill, if you are a quarterback, fellas, and you would like a custom workout plan that you could do on a day-to-day basis in the gym and on the field, check out that very first link in the description below for our new quarterback custom workout plan service. What you will get access to is you will get access to a private email address where you could submit film of yourself. It could be game film, could be practice film, could honestly just be clips of you throwing to a net or throwing to a partner. And what I will do is take a look, me personally, will take a look at that film, give you guys feedback, tell you what you need to improve on, and then structure an 8-week-long workout plan to work on those areas of your game that you maybe have weak points on. We give you the exact drills, sets and reps, and a video example of each drill so you're not confused and don't know what to do. So guys, if you're interested in that, check out that very first link in the description below for a custom quarterback workout plan. All right, it's good. Now, this next drill for quarterbacks to work on their arm strength is going to build on that dissociation that we talked about, but also not letting my knees go past my toes and being in a glute dominant position. So this drill is something called a straight jacket, because with your arms, it's very similar to that rotation dissociation drill that we just did. But a straight jacket is obviously when they put like crazy people in it so they can't move their arms. That's how I want your hands to be on this drill. So for about a 10-yard space, what you're gonna do is you're gonna be in this straight jacket position. If you're a right-handed quarterback, the rhythm of this drill is going to be left, right, left. If you're a left-handed quarterback, the rhythm of this drill is going to be right, left, right, okay? But I'm a right-hander, so I'll show you this way. So we're gonna be in that straight jacket position. Your first step is with your left foot. So you go left, then the next step is with your right foot, and then you're gonna take a stride. So it's left, right, left. The second left step is your stride step. Now remember, to create power as a quarterback, when you step, where's your weight supposed to stay? On the back leg. Head, knee, and foot are supposed to be stacked on top of each other. Flashlight or laser beam on your knee is supposed to be pointed towards the sideline. So that's where I want to get when I'm in my straight jacket. Now from this position, I want my hips in this weight transfer to bring my upper body through the throw, because that's how ultimately we create power. Remember, I step to the target, weight stays back, shoulders stay back, hips rip the arm through. So this is a great drill to work on that sequence. Now, how does the knees over toes come into effect on this drill? If you guys do this and you're in that knee over toe position, that quad dominant position, and you try to rotate through, you're gonna either stop, fall forward, or lock out. So the way to do this drill correctly is by being in a glute dominant position. Sit your butt down. Shins should be completely straight, left, right, left, and I'm able to just rotate through nice and clean. So I'm gonna show you how this should look full speed. You wanna do about 4 sets of a 10 to 12 yard space with this drill. Now, remember in the beginning of this video, we talked about the 3 reasons that quarterbacks will lose power. Number 1 was improper weight. Number 2 is being in a quad dominant position. Then number 3 was what? It was that long overstride, right? So this is a great drill to prevent that overstride, especially on a deep throw. So I call this a cone circle hitch drill. If you don't have a circle of cones, you can do this in like a hula hoop. Maybe you could just set up some type of object in a circle around you, but it's to force you to have to take a short stride to help you rotate more with your hips and not have my feet be way outside my frame. So like, let's say for example, I'm throwing like a deep post. Let's say I take a 3-step drop, I get to the top of the drop, I'm hitching up, and then I'm trying to throw this thing, right? So when I hitch up, notice how I'm at the top of the drop, my back foot hitches up and replaces my front foot. I get my weight loaded to my back leg, head, knee, and foot are stacked. I'm in a position to where I could get to that dissociation or separation position. So the hips can fire before the arm. But a lot of guys, because it's a further throw, they try to push, and that push will cause that long stride. Base is wide, we're here, we're not getting any power from my hips. So this drill kind of forces you to have to take the short stride while having that good hitch mechanics and getting your weight to that stacked position like we talked about. So you're gonna start out here, you're within the circle. Front foot is here, it's a 3-part drill, you need this with the ball. So we're going to replace the left foot with the right foot. So it's 1, then you go back, 2, then you go back, 3, and then we throw, but that foot is not allowed to step outside the circle of cones. And that's why the circle of cones are here. You probably want to make this circle a little bit tighter, so if you do step out the cones or do step far, you're stepping on the cones and you could feel it, and you know you have to shorten that stride. So we're doing that on the 3rd rep. You are going to throw and let this thing go maybe about 30 yards downfield, 40 yards downfield. I like this on a deeper throw, but I'm gonna show you how this should look full speed. You want to do maybe about 8 to 10 reps of this drill.